The Romans had a party trick. They would weave asbestos into tablecloths, toss the whole cloth into a fire, and pull it out clean. Stains burned away, cloth untouched. They called it the magic mineral. Pliny the Elder wrote about it. He also wrote that the slaves who wove it got sick and died. Same paragraph, same mineral, same empire that built aqueducts and fed lions decided that was an acceptable trade. That was 2,000 years ago. The United States still has not fully banned asbestos. It is 2026. So what is asbestos exactly? It is not one thing. It is six naturally occurring silicate minerals that all share one trick. They grow in fibers, tiny, flexible, heat-proof fibers. The most common type is chrysotile white asbestos. It accounts for about 95% of all asbestos ever used in buildings, breaks, pipes, insulation, floor tiles, roof shingles, and about 40 other things you did not know contained a rock. Then there are the amphiboles, chrysotile, the blue one, amosate, the brown one, tremolite, anthophyllite, actinolite. The amphiboles are straighter, stiffer, and nastier, but chrysotile is the one that got everywhere because chrysotile is the one that was cheap. Here's the thing about these fibers. They are thin, really thin. A single chrysotile fiber can be 0.02 micrometers wide. A human hair is about 70 micrometers. You could fit 3,500 asbestos fibers side by side across one hair, and they are chemically inert. Acid does not dissolve them easily. Heat does not break them. Your body does not break them either. That last part is the problem. And if that looks like a crystal to you, correct, asbestos fibers are not prismatic gems. They are thread-like filaments so thin you need an electron microscope to resolve one. Asbestos was a dream material, fireproof, cheap to mine, easy to weave, press, spray, or mix into cement. It insulated boilers, wrapped pipes, lined brake pads, and strengthened roofing. By the 1970s, the world was using about 5 million tons a year. The fiber did everything you asked it to. That was the selling point. It did not burn, it did not rot, it did not conduct heat. For a building material, those are the only 3 questions that matter, and asbestos answered all of them. What asbestos represents is a toxic substance, one of 5 categories we use on this channel to sort the chemistry of the world. Toxic substances are the ones that hurt you, sometimes at any dose, sometimes over years, sometimes above a line nobody drew until the bodies showed up. The other 4 categories are vital, industrial, medicinal, and cultural. We will get to all of them. Asbestos sits in the toxic bucket because of geometry, not poison in the blood sense, not corrosion. Geometry, a fiber thin enough to reach the deepest pocket of your lung and stable enough to sit there for 40 years while your immune system breaks itself trying to remove it. That is the chain. Fiber shape to lung depth to immune failure to cancer. That is what makes asbestos toxic, and it is why this category exists. Here's what happens inside your lungs. You breathe in a fiber. It is so thin that it sails past your nose hairs, past your throat, past the large airways, all the way down to the alveoli, the tiny air sacs where oxygen enters your blood. Your immune system sends a macrophage, a cleanup cell. The macrophage tries to eat the fiber, but the fiber is too long. The cell wraps around it and fails. It dies trying. Your body sends another one, same result. This is called frustrated phagocytosis. That is the actual scientific term. Frustrated, the cell is frustrated because it literally cannot do its job. That macrophage appears to be holding a bone. For the record, frustrated phagocytosis involves a cell failing to engulf a fiber thousands of times thinner than a hair, not gnawing on leftovers. This cycle of failed cleanup causes chronic swelling over years. That swelling scars the lung tissue, that is asbestosis. Over decades, it can trigger mesothelioma, a cancer of the lining around the lungs. The time between breathing in the fiber and getting the diagnosis is 20 to 50 years. The 1970s construction workers are getting diagnosed now. The industry knew. Internal documents from Johns-Manville, the largest asbestos company in the US, show the company had medical evidence of harm as early as the 1930s. They kept mining, they kept selling, they kept telling workers the dust was safe. Johns-Manville filed for bankruptcy in 1982 under the weight of lawsuits. The Manville Trust, set up to pay victims, has paid out over $5 billion so far. It is still paying. More than 60 countries have banned asbestos outright. The United States is not one of them. The EPA issued a final rule in 2024 banning chrysotile in the last remaining uses, but the other 5 types were already restricted, and existing asbestos in buildings still there, still legal, still being managed, not removed. I keep coming back to Pliny. He saw the slaves getting sick, he wrote it down, he moved on to the next chapter. 2,000 years later, the pattern held. We saw the workers getting sick, we wrote it down, we moved on to the next product. The fiber is still in the walls, the lawsuits are still in the courts, the latency clock is still ticking for people who breathed it in decades ago and do not know it yet. That is asbestos, not a warning label, a geometry lesson that took us 2 millennia to take seriously. Thanks for watching. If this is the kind of chemistry you want more of, subscribe. We have got a long list of substances to get through, and every one of them has a story like this. See you next time.